in a very fast-paced world. It's a world in which some people say that all the information in the world up to this time is doubling every 12 hours. So, it's kind of exponential. And what that means is that we have this sense of urgency all the time. And we think that our children could never possibly be ready for the world that they're about to live in. I think the biggest sensation is we all feel pressured, and I think it's not only 24/7, it's in our homes, it's outside our homes, it's in our cars. The minute we introduced these things, we were like doctors on call, okay? It meant that we were constantly getting text messages, constantly getting emails. We were ever present, and ever present to everyone else often meant we weren't ever present to our children. But we felt more and more rushed, and we didn't have the time to look in our children's eyes anymore. Just the other day, last Sunday, before I left for the UK, I was in a supermarket, just a supermarket, and this mom was rolling around her child. Her child looked to be about, I'm going to say 2, and all the child wanted was for her mother to pay attention to her. Just look into my eyes. But that mother was so engrossed into getting texts and into giving texts and sending them that they missed a whole opportunity. And the truth is that those are the opportunities that matter for better language, better reading, better math, better social skills, better learning to learn skills. That's what matters. Take the moment to look in their eyes. And do you know who else is going to benefit from that? We do as moms. I know it's something your grandmother told you a long time ago, but people are about people, and we are the most social beings on the planet. And I was just 5 minutes ago, I'm at a conference in England right now. I was talking to a guy who makes computers, who makes robots. And I said to him, well, what makes the robots different than we are? And he said he just ran a study where he had tried to mimic what it meant to be human with the robot and trying to make them as much like babies as he could, think like babies, act like babies. And then he ran a study. And the infants, when one baby cried in the room, all the babies started crying. We call that contagion. When one robot started crying in the room, guess what? The other robots didn't cry. And that's what makes us so unique. One of my friends says, it's like we have a social brain. And that social brain is what enables us to learn about tools that people used centuries ago, to not have to relearn how to make fire, to not have to relearn how to build houses out of mud. We start with bricks. That's amazing. And we do it in less than a generation. Well, play is very interesting. I don't know that it's the magic elixir of any sort, but it embodies a whole lot of the right stuff. So in play, kids are active, right, rather than passive. They're engaged rather than distracted. They're doing something that's deeply meaningful to them, and often they're socially interactive with one another. And when you are active, engaged, things are meaningful and socially interactive, the world opens up to you. It's like opening up a door on the how of learning. And then play includes all these other features, like it has collaboration or learning how to get along with other humans. Which I said is the basis for all relationships. With some of the leaders that we have in many of our countries, we don't have listeners anymore. And we need more listeners to be good social human partners. And we have content and learning how to learn skills and the maths and the readings and all of that can happen in those same environments because we tell stories in play. Fantasy stories are part of what it's all about. We have critical thinking in play, where we ask, how do you build that sandcastle? that's powerful to make sure it doesn't sink in before it's too late. What about creative innovation? What should that sandcastle look like? How many spires should it have? Does it need a moat or doesn't it need a moat? And what about the confidence to build the tall tower? The confidence to fail and then make it better the next time. And the growth mindset to know that you can do this. These are powerful. In play, you have the what? As I said, the collaboration, communication, content, critical thinking, creative innovation, and confidence. And you have the how. It's active, engaged, meaningful, and socially interactive. Put those together, perfect marriage. And where do they exist? In play. The best thing I think we could do is to help them learn how to work with other people and form relationships. You know, the world is without boundaries. Today, you and I are speaking. Isn't that amazing? And I remember you from Denmark. I mean, come on. So we don't have the same kind of geographic boundaries we used to have. We're not locked anymore. And that means everything is about learning how to be with other people. It's about learning how to communicate and get things done. How can they help? They can help by speaking with their children, not at them. They can help by creating situations where we have to build it together. We have to learn to negotiate and navigate the social scene. They can help by giving us learning to learn skills. Because while the facts are important, truly, we don't live in a world where facts are what's really, and I don't mean truths or not. I mean where the memorization is really what is at the core of our learning. The monks did that many years ago, but we're a little bit beyond that. How do we learn to critically think, to evaluate evidence, to see all in the world, and to go after it, to want to understand it, and to be the best humans we can be? And I think if we prepare them that way, and we read to them, and we speak with them, and we show them in the world around us that there are things like 3s and 5s and 7s, because they don't really exist, right? They only exist when you have 7 pairs of shoes and 7 cookies. Then we start to teach them about fancy sets that they won't learn about until algebra, you know, or how water flows in a stream and how you can redirect some of it. I mean, this is amazing stuff. And when we learn that, we're little scientists, psychologists, sociologists. Imagine preparing them for a liberal arts education before they ever enter school. We can start really easily. I challenge every parent to look into the eyes of your child and find out what he or she finds interesting. That's a challenge. 2 minutes. Don't get more than 2 minutes. 2 minutes of your time. I challenge every parent to, when you are with your child, put the cell phone away and really be with your child. I know we all have multiple jobs. I know that we are stressed and strained. But just for a few minutes a day, let's honor, while we have those few minutes, let's honor us as parents and honor our children. We make it so hard. But you know, I once tested a whole group of parents. I said, can you give me 10 minutes for your child? No, I'm too busy. Can you give me 5? Oh my God, I can't find that. I said, what about 2 minutes? 2 minutes. I think it's the magic number. Start with 2. And you know what? You're going to love it so much. It's going to go to 3 and 5 and 7 and 12 and 20. Why is an interesting question. For one, we're pressed and we feel it. And if we're pressed and we feel it, the chances that our kids are pressed and they feel it is super high, right? So, I mean, we have to do our best to not model that kind of craziness. Secondly, our kids are in a world where they get a lack of social interaction. And there are some people who believe that the lack of social interaction is itself creating anxiety, emotion-ridden situations. I think if learning is fun, people learn more. You know, so I pick a topic each year, and we play with the topic each year. Last year it was politics. This year it's myths about psychology in my college classroom. And I read them a children's book to start out my year. And by God, if they don't light up, because it's fun. It's just more fun. And I don't know anybody who doesn't want to have more fun. You know, we don't have enough time to have fun in our life anymore. Well, we gotta change that. I mean, not everything has to be a blast all the time, you know? And I'm not saying that it should be. Some things are actually work. Like there are times when I'm at the gym and frankly, I feel the weightlifting I'm doing is going to kill me. And it doesn't feel like fun at all. So you do it because you know it's good for you. You know what I mean? Or maybe I would like to eat chocolate cake all the time and forget about broccoli. Like who needs broccoli, you know? But I do think for the most part, I think we can do a better job of learning, attending, and having joy in our lives. And I think if we can make that happen, God, are we going to be a happier species, you know? Just our daily life is going to be a whole lot better. Well, you know, first of all, you can get hints by a lot of people as to how to do it in a way that achieves your learning goals. Example, we had children who needed to learn vocab words. So we chose either have them play, act the story through a drama play, or play act in large group games, or play act in small group games, or learn a song, right? And when we did that, the children actually learned better in those situations. It was it was guided by us, but the children took the lead. The children looked better than they did when it was either free play or direct instruction. How about that? It worked better than flashcards for learning words. You say, oh yeah, but how about math? I mean, math can't be fun. Well, we invented a game called Parkopolis. Parkopolis is a human-sized board game, and we refashioned dice so the dice had fractions on them. It was fraction dice, fractions plus whole numbers. And then we rolled the dice, and the kids had to move 6.5 steps. And then they had to add 4.25 steps. And when they had to do this, guess what? They learned math and fractions. So there's many ways to make it a little bit more engaging than we do. And the cool thing about it is that when people are having fun and when they're more attentive, they learn more. That's kind of cool, you know? And in every study we run, what we're finding is this guided play where there is a clear goal, okay? And the teachers craft the environment so that the children can take the lead and learn. In every case, the kids seem to do better that way in school. So we have 2 schools in the United States where we're actually trying this out, transforming the schools. And it is remarkable to see what's happening in those schools. Let me give you an example. One school in kindergarten, the teachers told me, oh my gosh, we'll never figure out guided play. We don't know if we could do it. And I said, well, think of what children's museums are like. Think of what a Montessori school is like. That lets the kid take the lead in a rather, kind of structured environment. Why not try that? Oh, I don't know if we could do it. Okay. So one school was doing weather. Now let's just look at their classroom, okay? I walk in and there's these kids with cardboard boxes filming another kid who's at a map. And the kid who was at the map says, oh, there's a weather front coming in. Remember, they're 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. There's a weather front coming in and it's going to cross the country and create a high pressure zone here. And then it looks like it's going to rain. The kid who had the cardboard box was pretending to be the cameraman who was filming the weather report for the nightly news. The child who was telling us was the weather forecaster. That's like a pretty amazing thing. So I thought, okay, that kid used forecast, high pressure, right? This kid is like way ahead of vocabulary in most kindergarten classrooms. So I then walked over to the next table where I saw 4 studious children, completely and totally attentive. What were they doing? They had little droppers that they got and papers with circles on them of various diameters. Their job was to figure out how many drops of water it would take to fill the diameter of the circle, how much rain fills what space, and then to graph it. Wow. But then there was another group of 4 children. By the way, the classroom was just lovely and quiet and well organized and moving magnificently. The children were building cumulus versus cirrus clouds out of cotton. Okay. Now, to my mind, those kids were having one heck of a lesson in math, graphs, which you don't normally do when you're 5 years of age. They were having a lesson in science and in predicting science, and a lesson in vocabulary. The biggest deal here is to think about a lot of different kinds of play. And the play we are talking about when we talk about learning goals and education is what we call guided play. And that's the kind of play where the adult is kind of the initiator of the environment, but the child then becomes the one who guides the learning within that well-structured environment. And it's a different kind of play than free play. Free play does not give us the hit we anticipated, but guided play does. And once you start to see these differences in different kinds of play, you'll say, oh yeah, guided play, well, games are guided play, right? Because there are rules to them. Oh, I see what guided play is. And now look at the board games you have on your shelves already. And people will start to see the math and the reading opportunities in these games. Our job is to reflect on that and to help make the lesson live. And when we do, our kids will want to learn to learn. And when they want to learn, they're ready to be 21st century thinkers. Fun and awe-inspiring, because I learned something new about the people I play with and the things I'm engaged with each and every time. And if play works, it's iterative. It keeps growing. It takes you to places you've never been before. And in that sense, it's awe-inspiring. Scientists play every day.